I used to feel so much pressure every time I would go out to meet girls. I'd feel like I'm in hunter mode, constantly like scanning the room, trying to make eye contact with a girl that wasn't in a big group. I'd constantly be in my head. And whenever I would leave the house, I would feel my nerves start to rise. Like I was a UFC fighter, like on the way to a big fight, you know, hyping myself up. Boom, okay, here we go. Oh. My heart would start beating fast. No matter how much I tried to distract myself, I could never shake that feeling. Watch me do the limbo here. Oh, shit. And then when I finally would go talk to a girl, I'd be playing out these hypothetical conversations in my mind. Okay, if she responds like this, I'll say this. Most of the time, they didn't go very well, right? It ended up being awkward and I just kind of walk away with my tail between my legs kind of thing, right? Like, okay, well, see you later. Like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. It was always just so stressful. I wanted so badly to improve in this area, but every time I would go out, I would get caught up in this negative spiraling, thinking, oh, that girl doesn't want to be approached. She doesn't want to be talked to. Well, I'm just wasting my time. Here we go again. I'm also on an ice rink right now, as you can see. Forgot my ice skates, sliding all over the place. That's a good man right there. The thing is women can sense that energy. They can feel when you're trying to get something from them or you're trying too hard. Like, if you think about like the guy with the clipboard, right? Walking up to you at the mall or on the street, and he's just trying so hard to sell you something, and he's not even really listening or paying attention to what you're saying. He's just jumping out. Yeah, well, let me tell you about this. So here's the great thing about it. And you can see it's just like, okay, he's just pushing it on you, pushing it. And you're like, get the hell away from me. And it's the desperation that ends up turning you off. And women feel this feeling all the time. I remember being at the mall one day and I was looking for shoes, which I might need a new pair after this because holy shit, they're muddy. But I was in there and I was looking at these shoes on the wall, right? And then apple bottom jeans comes on, right? Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. So I started nodding my head. And then this really cute girl catches my attention that works there. And she was doing the same thing. She was like nodding her head. She was throwing in like a little dance move. You know, I go up to her and I say, great minds think alike. And then we start talking about the music. And then I ended up leaving the store that day with a new pair of shoes, but also her phone number, right? And I just remember walking away like looking like a kid on Christmas probably. And I was thinking about it and I started journaling on this. A lot of times when I would go out without the intent of getting a girl's phone number, I would do so much better when it was just spontaneous. And then every time I went out with that sole intention, I always felt this pressure. I could never be myself. I could never get out of my head. And then I realized that when I have a mission, when I have a goal that I'm focused on, that's when I get the best results. If I'm just prioritizing chasing around women, right? That is so much pressure and that is not going to lead to the results that I want because that's going to be my main focus, right? You're focusing on an end goal, you're focusing on the result, and you're not actually having fun with the process. What I started to do was strategically place myself in environments where I knew that women would be. I would prioritize doing things that I like to do throughout my day. I didn't put any pressure on meeting women. That would just be a byproduct, whether that would be just shopping at the mall, walking along the beach while I was getting my steps in, going to the gym, and even if it was just getting out of my head and working on my social skills, right? That would be the focus. Women weren't any different than everyone else. And from talking to so many people, every time I left my house, getting into that social mood, what I started to notice is I got the best results when I didn't treat women any differently than I did the old guy doing Tai Chi at the park, right? You treat them the same. I found myself before putting all this pressure, like, okay, oh my God, it's a hot girl. Okay, now I have to perform. I was trying to be too perfect, when in all actuality, I needed to stop putting certain people on pedestals, whether it was the hot Instagram girl or, you know, the millionaire that rolled up on the yacht. It's like, people are people and everybody's struggling with their own insecurities, so there's no reason to pedestalize anybody. And once I got in the habit of just socializing with everybody that I saw, spreading those positive vibes and just getting curious about what they were doing or who they were, that's when things really started to shift. That's when I noticed it right away. I got into that momentum and I was able to just relax, not put so much pressure on myself, and just be socially free and not give a how other people would respond to that. And what I found at the end of the day was that I would feel more fulfilled. I'd feel happier having socialized and left people better than when I found them, right? Being more playful, making people smile, and just flirting with the world. Hot girls get no special treatment here. And when you can be that beam of light that just lights up every room, hot girls notice that anyways, right? When you're not treating them any differently than you are the old lady in front of them in line. Treat them like a celebrity and you'll get treated like a fan. As the old saying goes, oh my God, my arm, right? But shake it off a bit. But if any of you guys are struggling with building your confidence, or you're still pedestalizing really attractive women and you want to get in the habit of just being able to socialize without putting so much pressure on yourself, and you want to authentically be yourself in these situations, hit the link in my description below. We'll hop on a free call and we'll map out how we can build you into that most confident version of yourself.